Imran Taj of YouTube is actually asking an exact question on this thread, which is how is Trump's confused policy on interference and regime change operations in the Middle East and South Asia impacting the United States' overall foreign policy and impact on elections, world order? It does seem like in some respects kind of befuddling, untraceable,
Yeah,
confused, fumbling, if nothing else. Um, Both in respect to personal interest, but also in
yeah.
respect to cynical U.S. interest,
Yeah.
or less cynical U.S. interest. So how are you kind of taking that all in, whether it's Pakistan and
Yeah,
India more
so
broadly?
it's a great question from Imran, and I think it goes to the heart of where people mess up with Trump, where they're always trying to ascribe something that isn't there. We cannot believe what is in front of our eyes. We can't believe that this man-child is now president and commander-in-chief of the United States. We cannot believe that he has no vision for foreign policy and has no knowledge of the world. And so we imagine that there must be some hidden plan, there must be some brilliant people behind the scenes, there must be a team. And no, it is what you see is what you get. I know it's an unpopular view. I firmly believe that. I did a debate with Michael Gove, the former British Conservative cabinet minister recently in the UK, on whether Trump's foreign policy is making the world a safer place. And my entire argument is that he doesn't really have a foreign policy. It's just impulse driven. It's personal interest driven. It's ego driven. It's driven by his own belligerence and natural hawkishness. No, he's not a neocon. He doesn't want to build countries abroad. He doesn't have a grand strategy. But yeah, he loves bombing shit and sending troops in places. We've seen that with Venezuela recently. And so there is no coherence. And that's what's so dangerous because, as the Pakistani defense minister said to me, he said, look, China's ultimately going to be our stronger ally because they are the reliable ally. The US is now the unreliable ally. The US is now cannot be taken seriously on anything, whether it's foreign aid, where we just scrapped our budget overnight, leaving thousands of people at the mercy of a disease and starvation, and many people have died thanks to Rubio, Musk, and Trump and their attack on USAID, or whether it's climate change, where he pulled us out of the Paris Climate Change Treaty again. But it is so much of it, as I mentioned with India. India is a strategic ally of the US against China. That is the view of the foreign policy community, right and left, or right, Democrat and Republican, let me rephrase it. Modi was his friend. They have very similar views about illiberal democracy and Muslim immigration. And yet he threw that all under the bus because Modi will not nominate me for a peace prize, so I'm mad at Modi. Like, that is how he makes foreign policy, whether you like it or not. And that's why, the Russia stuff, everyone's obsessed with the Russia stuff. The Russia stuff comes down to one thing. Trump criticizes every world leader except Putin. Why? No one's ever answered that question for me. So, yes, it is very problematic for the United States to move forward when you have a president who is basically, foreign policy is being guided by his personal interests, corruption. I mean, he's making a shit ton of money, as his family, out of foreign policy. We're seeing that with Witkoff. We're seeing that with Don and Eric Trump Jr., Don Jr. and Eric Trump. We're seeing that, he's making a ton of money off of foreign countries, as are his family. You're seeing the Pakistani government have been putting money into his crypto company. There were stories about the Vietnamese and the Trump family. Obviously, the Gulf, the Trump golf courses that are being opened up all over the place. So there's money and corruption that leads his way. And then there's obviously his ego, those who flatter him. A lot of foreign countries have worked out that the best way to get Trump on board is just to be sycophantic. And then there's obviously his natural affinity for strongmen. Right? You saw him with Erdogan the other day. He points to Erdogan. He says he knows what a rigged election is, which is comedic gold, by the way, seeing Erdogan's face. But separately, Trump likes that about Erdogan. It's not that he doesn't like the fact that Erdogan is an autocratic president. He likes that. He likes the fact that Orban is an autocratic prime minister in Hungary. He said famously to Fox in his first term, when I go to North Korea, they all stand up and salute Kim. I want my people to do that for me. That's how he thinks. That's how he approaches foreign and domestic policy. So I have the unfashionable view that says, just take him literally. Like, stop pretending that he's not some idiot who's out of his depth in the White House and just running on personal ambition, ego, and financial interest. There is no geostrategy. I mean, here's one last example of this. He spent months on the campaign trail saying, we're going to end the Ukraine war. The whole Republican Party pivots to being like, and pro-Russia from being an anti-Russia party in the 80s and 90s. He's like, no more weapons to Ukraine, corruption. Him and Vance berate Zelensky in the Oval Office, saying, you can't win this, you must stop the killing. Everyone on the isolationist right side, yeah. And now suddenly, what's he saying? I think Ukraine can take back all the territory. I'm going to arm Ukraine. I'm very anti-Russia, like overnight. So completely erratic, inconsistent.
Yeah.